I asked players why they liked or disliked AQ3D. I said, what is it that makes you want to play or not play AQ3D? Out of 342 votes, 61% said I like it. 18% said I don't like it, with 14 saying I don't care or don't play, and then 8% choosing I choose this for another reason. I don't hate or like it, I just can't get into it myself and would need to play with a friend or two to give it a solid chance. I've tried by myself, it gets boring as a solo grind gets to me now. I'm quite perplexed by this. From experience, I have about 40,000 hours on MMOs, enjoy grinding, crafting, PvP. However, the reward system in AQ3D is quite unrewarding, whereas in the hours you put into the game does not equate to the rewards. From what I can tell, on the top of my head, the issue comes from the facts. The drop rates are devastating. Played a total of 5 months since returning to the game, and I've been killing title for at least 30 times a day, still no shoulders. Whoa. Most of the rewards that are guaranteed but difficult to get are just cosmetics. Cool rewards are often party locked, whereas you can't efficiently solo it. And lag. This is a big problem I see a lot of people talking about. Most events are set in a specific time frame, usually lasts for a few hours, which is very disadvantage to busy people. Most quests are just kill number mob name, and that is pretty true. I don't like it anymore. Getting hard to get cosmetics. They keep increasing the price. Since AQ3D only has a small team and the boss want reworking the intro because his children playing the game and don't like the game, is just waste their small team resource and energy for focusing more on new saga. I do still play the game. There are many things I like in the game. However, I will choose I don't like it. There's many reasons to like and dislike the game objectively. Subjectively, what throws me off the most? Lack of challenges. Do they not want to make challenging fights because they are incapable, or because player base always complains when there's a boss like the Doom boss just because they prefer to complain instead of pay bare minimum effort? When a game is too easy, you get bored, tired of playing it, and burn out. But yeah, let's stay quiet about completely broken things like the Samurai Oracle cross skill, etc. That makes it even easier because they want everything to be broken in sense of being too easy and later expect the game to be good. I like it because it gives me the nostalgic buzz. I was a guardian in the OG AdventureQuest. I like the comedic writing style, the fact that crafting is at a minimum, the fact that I can play it alone but still come to the aid of other players, and it being free to play. It doesn't feel like a game I have to play every day or I might miss out. I can take it at my leisure. I should note I have no interest in min or maxing or competing with other players. I just like to jump into the world, do some quests or dungeons. I am aware it has issues and other MMOs often more robust experiences, but when I play them, I always get bored and come back to AQ3D. I guess it's just my jam. I could have been brief with my thoughts on AQ3D, so anyway, here's a wall of text. The game, in short, is simple. Not many complications needed to achieve every goal unless we talk to Nolgath. Nothing is stupid complicated nor stupid easy. It stays right in the middle, which is very important for those who want nor have too much time in their lives invested on every day. The graphics. While in many early areas the art is very low quality, from the mid-late parts the game looks not only good but impressive in some aspects, not to mention the later areas which are enriched by a very clever art direction using few standard assets. The gameplay is functional, basic, but good enough to not be a bothersome mess, with every class kind of complementing each other with a fast-paced and addictive combat scenarios. On top of this, all classes will get a revamp in the future, which will enrich the experience even more. Sure, AQ World has 4,000 classes, but quantity never outrides quality, which is the aim for the AQ3D of tomorrow. The customization ex machina. Of course, I have to mention the cosmetic department. You can almost be whatever you want. Even the hunt for the perfect cosplay is entertaining. Plus, there's so much stuff that we can have to look for every week of the year, or one unique design based on a repository of thousands of parts. The story. is a complete mess. Let's be honest, AQ3D lacks a proper storyline that grabs us by the horns, not to mention the severe lack of proper motivation to be the hero, because in the lore we are forced to serve just because, and we have no reason or indulgence to even listen to the Grim Reaper to begin with. Of course, this will change since a new early story is in the works, and as I write this wall of text, which promises finally proper storytelling, and there should be good stories buried within the lore dump, and hopefully there will be. I mean, we do have some. It's mentioned here, Ashfall and Azurcrest Island. The game stability is a problem. There's so many bugs due to the horrible decision of making everything in the game hard-coded, which not only forces more development time for the smaller things, but also is a hellhole for bug fixing. AE failed to understand that the Arctic's Way shown in AQ and AQ World does not work on 3D games, since 3D requires more personal and time than 2D sprites and environments. This has been a burden since AQ3D came in public in 2015 as early alpha, and still a problem in 2025, 3 years after it left beta status. The extra stuff that I'm too lazy to put into individual categories, housing, fishing, PvP, is trash by the way, should have been unscaled since inception. User events, guild events, devs listening to the consumers, consumer ideas for items, quests, balance, implemented as requested, community contests, and other aspects make this game worthy in some capacity. AQ3D is far from perfect, but as of 2025, it's more functional and complete than 3 years ago. It's still a long road ahead, but the current lead has a vision for the long term, unlike the people who came before. So with all these aspects around, I say AQ3D is a good game. Very rough around the edges, but a product that might help escape the Arctic's Way and evolve into something better, or stay in the Arctic's Way and exist as a generic AQ product that nobody will care to remember in the years to come. I play on my iPad, and it's easily the best MMO on iPad iOS. The devs are great, it's not a microtransaction hell, and it's got a great community. The content needs to be better, to be honest. Other games compared to AQ3D, we get few things. I like it because this game can equip any gear I want, a lot of variant costumes, can equip any class I want, lots of quest story and side story can make me like I'm in the medieval age. Most importantly, this game is not pay to win. Pretty decent areas to play in, event can be fun with other players, cosmetics can be really amazing looking or flat out funny. The community is one of the least toxic I've ever come across. Cons, way too much grinding and low drop rates for items that are subpar. Lack of content in main story and even side story updates. Features are slowly being put in most low-grade games of the genre already have. Devs seem to have seriously messed up list of priorities on what needs to be put into the game. For example, they're revamping the beginning. Again, the PvP is an absolute joke. They do these releases with so much grinding involved with so little reward. And the grinding is great if you're a preteen, teenager, and adult with nothing to do during the day. Seems like people working on it have very limited skills in their field, even if it is a small crew. I'm still amazed they can't seem to figure out how to make it color customize gear and weapons when it's a common mechanic. Unfortunately, it is due to the way that the textures work in the game, so that's why color custom can't work. It's one of these things. I see a massive amount of potential this game has, and it really pisses me off to no end to see it squandered. I really want to like this game, but it's easy to blow through most of the content. The combat itself is extremely low polish, and the game engine itself is really buggy. The game has charm, but that's about it. Level scaling should be removed. At least let the level scales follow current self level instead. I've seen my friends quitting due to the over creep by a single scaled enemy that's not even a mini boss. I don't really like AQ3D anymore, but I keep up with his channel because you do a fantastic job. Maybe you will draw me back into the game. I stopped playing for the core reasons. The combat is a little too boring to keep me engaged in long grinds, and AQ3D has a lot of them. I like grindy games, but the combat needs to hold my attention. This is just something that doesn't really resonate with me. Leveling takes far too long, and you become too reliant on your dailies to get to level 50. If it feels like I'm making good leveling progress via MSQ, it's okay if it's a little slow, but quest rewards so little XP, it burns me out insanely fast. I stopped playing around level 47. And this is also, I've seen the problem as well, where the XP rewards are not balanced properly. Animations. This is a nitpicky one, but character animations just aren't that satisfying to look at. Running around with your weapons drawn looks really weird. If I have a great sword out, my character should run differently than if he were holding a bow or dagger. Some things I do enjoy: transmog, which means transformations, the seamless class swapping, that is nice, art style, and no pay to win. To be honest, when I first started playing the game, it was amazing. I really liked the storyline and the gameplay. Then later on, after playing for a while, it became lack of excitement went away after a few days. All that is just left is insane soul grinding and completely boring quests. And then he stated, I started playing Torum Online and it's pretty fun. Okay, so I don't think there's any periods in this. Looking at it, it's going to be hard to read this. Honestly, I love AQ3D for all the people that are in it. It's the community I fell in love with. The game, honestly, is hot garbage. If you disagree, play other games and come back to AQ3D. An indie game with 12 people can do better than what AQ3D does. Honestly speaking, however, all of its flaws are its charms also. Customization, house building, and all that pizzazz, but take that away and you're left with what? I'm 51, definitely an old school gamer, surviving new games that has cool features but doesn't have heart. I've been playing the game since the start, like the Steam days. The game has drastically improved but still retains that homey vibe that doesn't pressure you to level up or purchase a lot of stuff. I'm poor and I help the game by buying DC that I can afford and use for my storage. The new Darkcaster is cool, but sadly I can't afford it. Awesome game and I'm staying forever. I used to like the game up until around 2019, then I began to dislike it and even hate it. Recently, my return to the game about 2 months ago, I've realized it was never the game that I liked to begin with. It was the community engagement that I enjoyed and that I found again. So all in all, the game is bad, but the community is what keeps it enjoyable. Let's be honest, it's not AdventureQuest anymore, but endless grinding. I like it still because I get to hang out with my friends in-game though. I like it, but I'm not blind to its faults. The game has too much focus on cosmetic grinds. 80% of the game is cosmetic based. Even the class system. The first 10 levels gives you tangible upgrades that actually make you stronger. The other 90 levels are purely cosmetic and serve no purpose. The kicker here is that you can blast through all levels of the classes within a day or two. Also, with the way the leveling system and the equipment system actually works, it's pointless to grind out useful equipment until you reach the max rank, which basically means all the equipment below level 50 rank becomes largely redundant and useless. Outside of cosmetic grinds, you can actually blast past everything tangible the game has to offer within the first month or two of playing. It's still a good game though. The class system is fun, and the nice community of people is generally a pleasant game to play. Just unfortunate some major glaring issues with the content. Lack of content. Main story. The stats and the class feel lacking compared to AQ World. I like to play it, but I just don't have anything to do. We need new content and the bow will take us prob 3 to 5 days and then it goes back to waiting. I'm on the fence. On one side, I love the game. I always have. But on the serious lack of in-game content just drives me insane. We have been out of Nolgath for a while now, and all we've been getting is filler. We have waited for months now and have yet to see any progression. Where's the magic we were promised? Because all we've seen so far is more and more paid cosmetic options at higher and higher prices with still no main story. The game is great. In fact, it's the only MMO that lasted for 2 years for me. I already tried other MMOs like Albion, Ragnarok, and OSRS, so AQ3D is a simple game, yet have a lot of things to do and content. Plus, the game doesn't have auto, and the game is active, and there's a bunch of stuff to grind, and you can also do PvP or PvE depending on your liking. For me, it's the best MMO. Despite the graphics, the overall content are just standout than average modern MMO in mobile. I think AQ World, Dragon Fable, and MechQuest brought me to AQ3D as I started playing them back in 2009. The moment I saw they were going to have an MMO mobile version, I was excited and quickly pre-registered. The game made my COVID lockdown feel so short because I was playing it together with my siblings and met new friends. The most unforgettable moment is farming for the Breaking Benjamin concert. I wish for the devs to make a collab again with other artists to make new content to attract my friends to play this game again. I like it, but it's too slow. An update for main contents like the story and the stats irritate me. I liked the game before, but once I reached the finishing line, it got boring. I found it while playing AQ World in 2016 and downloaded it on my phone, and then it was GG from there. It's nice to see players from the other AE games playing AQ3D because that's where I came from. I like it because it felt natural to me. I mean, I like the story about fantasy worlds a lot and everything in there. Not that I tried other games, but for some reason I feel like AQ3D is less fancy. I don't like movies at all, but I love anime and 3D is perfect for the game. No hyper-realism. Psychologically, AQ3D fits my personality of mental introvert. I like AQ3D for a lot of reasons, actually. I first looked for a game similar to World of Warcraft to play on mobile. Then, after starting, felt the game was refreshingly humorous and unusual. I came on when Breaking Benjamin Battle Concert was in the game. Not what I expected, but loved. Equipable classes, cross skills, the ability to customize... cosmetic mix and match are all the mechanics I love. Since starting 5 years ago, the game has only gotten better. Yeah, there's been updates that I've been meh about, but I'm not the only player, and I appreciate that there's something for everyone. Beyond that, there's a lot more to why I love the game, but that's some of the reasons why I started. I don't like it because it seems that the updates are very slow, and as a PvP player, and most PvPs, feel that the Battle Hall and the Samurai update felt very dry, and so most quit. I like AQ3D. I've been a veteran to AQ World since the first Upholder days, technically longer, and when I saw that they were coming out with a 3D modeled game, I jumped at the chance to check out the tech demo. I was thrilled to take part in the game and had high hopes for the content to come, and despite its issues, I still hold the game at a joyous regard. Hopefully, when content starts becoming a constant, I'll be more frequent with logging in. I love AQ3D. I've been playing since 2017. I was part of the Bush uprising that led to the Bush event, and I've been active a ton recently. Despite this, I still think the game is super flawed, and that amount of content the game gets is too little. I'm not going to go on another rant here, but overpriced items and an oversaturated cosmetic market is not good. I really just want them to focus on telling stories. But right now, that isn't their main goal. I don't know how they're doing financially, but I do wish they would communicate with the player base more, especially through streams. I like AQ3D. It was the first exposure to Arctic's games. I've played 6 years, and I've been a Dragon Guardian for 5 of those. However, I increasingly feel the scope of the game consistently outpaces the dev's capacity. Or capabilities. I found myself wanting a lot more out of these updates, to the point of honestly hoping for 2 or more week break between them. As that's so funny that you say that, because there's so many people that have said that. So that we could get some more substance. Entire plot lines seem to be forgotten on a whim, including the central story of the game, which I don't think has been focused on since, Sansi? Ultimately, it's a great idea. It's not terribly executed. I won't hate on the game, but I do find myself spending longer and longer in between play sessions just so that I have a decent amount of content to chew through when I return. I like it. For me, the whole game is a big sandbox and chat with ability to use it as a social space and slashing monsters. I don't use it for hardcore play, but more like Avakin or another social simulator. I like what artists did, music and ability to communicate with friends. My friend recommended it through this Twitch livestream, and it looked fun for grinding the class levels and crafting the items. I'm currently grinding for both Necromancer for Dark Caster and the Cage Midori armor sets. Whew, and there we go. That's the comments. So what do you guys think? Do you have opinions on AQ3D? Do you like it or hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you made it this far, post a secret word club into the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.